there, I'll just bring that to a stop. Now I think when I first showed this model, a couple of months ago or so now, I think when I got it, I mentioned it had some damage, and it was from a starter set, R.505, from about 1973. And at the time I didn't have one of the coaches. It came with two of these coaches, and I didn't have any, and somebody who kindly commented and mentioned that there was one available on that auction site, so I did successfully win this one. There are a couple of others, but they're in as part of a set, and that auction hasn't quite finished yet, I don't think. So I'm making these videos quite a way in advance, so we're the 21st of October right now. So that accounts for the strange dates I'm talking about. So we'll have a look at that in a moment. So I think these weren't sold as separate items either. So this would have been R.761. I think Pat Hammond's book gives this coach as the bright red brake as R.761, but never sold as a separate item. So let's just have a swift look over the model. Not in great detail. Excuse the car horn there. So it does have Hornby's name on it here. So top left corner, the bodywork there, and then R52, which was the original Jinty. So I think this is probably one of the last Jintys in the range. So I think there was the LMS one and the Railway Children one around this period in the early 70s, and then made in England. So apart from that slight damage there, it's a fairly nice thing. And I think the lettering's a little more worn on that side, but we won't handle it too much. We'll pop that down. We'll have a swift look over the chassis, and it did need a little work with the quartering. I can't remember whether I already said that or not. And the connection rods are a little on the bowed side. I believe somebody may have done that before to try and ease the running, but it seems to work, so I haven't bent them back straight again. So I've given that a light clean. And it does seem to run relatively smoothly now, so we'll pop that down. But in the same auction for the coach, a track cleaning car was included, so I was quite pleased with that. I wanted another one as well, and as we'll see in a moment, this one does come with the instructions and a second cleaning pad. I think when we were looking at track cleaning cars a little while ago, I was wondering whether the cleaning pads were sold separately or whether more than one came with the item in the first place. But this one definitely comes to two, and it references that in the instructions. So very nice to get that. So we'll just pop that down and have a quick look over this box. So this coach, obviously in the wrong box. This is a much earlier box. So let's have a quick glance at the end of this box. With a wrong way up, loads of sellotape. So I think this is from an earlier Southern coach, R.623 brake, second coach. I'm trying to read that, green with seat, so I'll get a picture of that. I'll pop that in the corner of the screen. So that's seen plenty of sellotape, hasn't it? So we'll come back to that and have a look at that when it's out of the box. So I think track cleaning cars are available from 61. I think they were in black and green, and I think only in red in the early to mid 70s. So I think they carried the same number right the way through, although I think earlier ones would have come with track cleaning fluid. I don't think they were sold with track cleaning fluid at this point. So there she is, sitting on the track in the long sidings there, and I've got the bodywork back on all nicely. I hadn't quite noticed how bad the crack in the buffer beam was till I was putting that back together. I'm not quite sure why I hadn't picked that up before, but let's give that a little power. Let's send her back down the siding a little bit. So she's relatively smooth. Let's get her to come back again. There we go. So I'm using the handheld controller. Really become quite a favourite of mine, this. So we've got that long extension and the controller sitting all the way over there. Of course, we have got no real control over the points from this side, so I have just got them set so we can run out onto the main line once we get the coach on there. So we'll just pop the controller down and we'll have a swift look over the coaches there, or the coach and the track cleaning car as it is more precisely. Excuse me, moving the furniture around as I move. So let's just have a look at the coach here. So it's in bright red plastic. There's no seating in there. and it seems to be relatively good condition. No buffers. From what I read in Pat Hammond's book, it never did come with buffers, and it's got full plastic axles and wheels all moulded as one on pinpoints. And there's a little bit of tape there with a number just written on it. Perhaps it was part of a set with multiple people running models, so they could identify whose was whose. But the roof hasn't yellowed too much, and it doesn't seem to be chipped in any way. So I think we'll pop that on the rails. What do we have on here? Do we have Triang's name? Yeah, so it's still got Triang's name on it there underneath, and made in England. I don't know whether we can see that. Can I just catch that in the light a little better for you there? So the wheels are in fairly good shape. I have just given them a light going over with a cotton bud and just a little bit of detergent before we get them on the rails there. But let's see if I can get that on there one-handed for now. But I'm very aware that I'm running out of time at the moment, so I may well have to finish the rest of this video later in the day when I return from work. So I've had the morning off, but time is running out. It's always the way when you're enjoying yourself. I'm just going to flip the camera around here, so we'll go around like that. So we'll give that a little power now, and we'll get her to move off. I'm just sort of stepping backwards into a chair there. So we'll just run her right around, and we'll get a grand view from this side, hopefully. Definitely fits in with the bridge, doesn't it, that bright red coach? Now I think I left the point set for it to just run around the outside line there, so there might be some surprises if I've got this wrong. No? As I'm expecting. So passing the goods shed, disappearing behind the station. Now because of the way this lead's threaded in, I can't quite walk as far over as I want to, on the controller that is. There she is, coming into the double curve here. Not too bad on the old diamond crossing there. So I'm going to have to bring her to a stop before points number 8, because they're still open there. There we go. Now I wonder whether she'll back up round the railway. Let's give that a go. If I just tighten up the camera a bit now as well, and see if I can follow that from a slightly different set of angles perhaps. And disappearing off behind the station there. I think that's looking pretty good. So I will have to keep my eye out for another one or two of these perhaps. Might be quite interesting, but I think we could probably come up with a few other items to run with it just to add interest. So let's see if she comes back across these points okay. And then we'll get a gentle stop. There we go. So it was a little bit of a jump, or a cough and a splutter on this point here as she backed over it. So we'll keep an eye on that. So I'm just going to widen out the camera again, and we'll have a quick look at this track cleaning car. So I was very pleased to get this. And it does have a rogue coupling on the one end, so somebody's been using it for something different, haven't they? So perhaps, I'm not sure whether that is a Hornby 00 style type coupling, a Pico style coupling or not, but it's been quite crudely fitted in there. So I think I'll probably leave that there. I'll see if that does work with the Hornby 00. So it could be quite interesting. Perhaps I could get the Kobo to do a bit of track cleaning perhaps. So it is fairly hairy. It has seen a bit of action, hasn't it? The cleaning pad, not too bad on that side. I don't know whether it's been reversed yet or not. But let's just pop that down and we'll see if I can ease the roof off it. Let's sit down and see if we can look at this a little bit more carefully. So let's see, pop the roof off here. There we go. And there is a second cleaning pad, untouched. So I'm thinking that that's how it was sold, with one in sitting in there. You can see the depressions there where something in the roof has been perhaps lying on it, or something else has been lying within the box within there. Or whether that's just age, I don't know, but it's quite a nice thing to find in there. You see some sort of fluid has been in there, but it's quite interesting. The instructions don't refer to vials of track cleaning fluid. They refer to using methylated spirit. So I thought that was quite interesting. So there it's you can read the information there, and there we go. So how to fit the pad in there. And if we have a look on the back there, so methylated spirit. The roof should then be lifted off and methylated spirit poured into the small well containing the end of the felt pad, as indicated in A. Let's have a look around over there. So whether they were selling methylated spirit by this period in these little vials or little rubber tubes, I don't know, but I'd always thought it was I was under the impression it was carbon tetrachloride earlier on, which is particularly nasty stuff as I understand. But I'm sure I remember using that as a child back in the 70s. At some point I remember somebody getting a bottle of it, and we used it with a rag on the rails, probably very, very dangerous. So there it says when felt pad has become badly soiled, it may be reversed to bring a clean portion in contact with the track. 2 felt pads are packed with each car, and replacements may be obtained as a spare parts under reference number, and then that's S6031. I thought that was quite an interesting little leaflet to find. I hadn't come across reference to the cleaning pads before, although earlier models did come with packs of track cleaning fluid which could be bought separately. Well, I thought I'd get back to the railway after work, and we are now 2 days on further down the road. This is now the 23rd of October, so it didn't quite work out as I thought, and there was too many other things to do. But as I said, we might find a few other interesting things to go with this great bright red coach from that local passenger set, and we've got the Jinty there as well. So I thought these green bolster wagons, which I think come from around 1970 to 74, and this bright red crane was a rather good match. And then I've just used my other track cleaning car. I've taken away the track cleaning pad, and I thought that looked quite good as a sort of little maintenance train, really. So let's just have an overall look at that. I think what we'll do, we'll get a bit of power on it from this side, and we'll see if we can follow it around a little. So let's just grab hold of the controls here, and we'll look at it from this direction. We'll look at it going off away from us there. I'll just crawl down the long siding there, and we'll just bring that to a gentle stop just there, like that. So the crane truck there, this isn't bright red. They were sort of a dark reddy maroon colour early on. And I think these came along in 1962, although my crane, I think, is missing its little stickers from the jib there. So I'll have to have a look at seeing if I can reproduce and copy those from the slightly older style crane and adjust the colour perhaps. So 62 to 79. And I think it must be around 1970 or 71 that they changed to the red colour. I've got an earlier video with the earlier crane wagon, So I'll leave a link in the description box for that. I think that's just a terrific set of colours there, and of course the clear story coach there, no buffers on it as we saw before. I think it just makes quite a nice little set. So we'll give that a little power, and we'll see if we can follow that around. So I've got an interesting route set, so we can go up and over the elevated section. Let me see if I can just tighten the camera up a bit while we're underway here. Ooh, I've gone a little too far there. So I don't like to put it onto digital zoom, so theoretically that's a optical zoom at this rate there. Through all of those points. Let's see if we can get it on the climb over here. See if we can get it on the rise. So I've just backed into the table there that the 3D printer's sitting on. And there we go, off into the distance. Picking up the tiniest amount of pace coming downhill there. Let's see if we can get the good shedding shot here as well. And along the back of the station. So I wonder how many of the sets actually survived intact. The set I was looking at on eBay went, and I didn't get a chance to put a bid in it because I was actually working at the time. Now we've got to stop before points number 8, otherwise we're going to have a bit of a derailment. So let's see if we can just bring that to a gentle stop before we get to number 8 there. I think what we'll do is jump the other side of the railway and pick it up from there, and perhaps have a look at the 73 catalogue, where I think all of these items showed up. So there, we just need to switch number 8. And if I lean back, I should have picked up the controller. There it is. And let's get that to move away under the bridge. See if we can get a nice angle on that. And I think we'll just bring that up to number 1 there and bring it to a gentle stop. What we're going to do is bring it onto the inside, but not back to the elevated section, I don't think. So I just need to close a couple of points. So we'll switch number 1 and 3G. So now we should come through the point work and onto the inside line. We'll see if we can back it onto a line near the diesel refueling area there. So let's give that a bit more power. Let's go in a bit tighter. It's also a bit Christmassy in colour, this, isn't it? So when I'm filming this, Christmas hasn't happened, but when this is going out, I think Christmas will be well past us for another year. So I'm thinking we'll go through points 1R here. We'll leave 2R as it is, 3R as it is, and we'll just run it onto this line here. So we need to do 1R. And let's see if this lot will back over all of those points. It could be a bit dodgy. So I think we'll follow it from the other side. It's quite a lot of wheels. A slight jump on something there. I think that Jinty didn't like the rail joint here, perhaps. So it sort of just popped over it. So let's just have a swift look at that crane. I'm not going to pinch them off the track, I don't think. If you want to have a closer look at the crane car, we'll leave the link to the video. But I'm just going to, swing around. I'm just going to lift this crane up. So the operating crane section is the same colour as that on the older crane wagon, although this one's had a little operator stuck on it. So I think they should have a sticker on it there saying crane number R.757. So I'll have to see if I can copy one of those and make one up with a bright red background, perhaps to go on there. So yeah, we'll put this down and we'll just have a swift glance over the 71 catalogue. Sorry, 73. I said 73, didn't I? It's definitely the one I've got out. Let's see if we can have a look at this. So again, I'm unsure where the mouse may be in this one. There wasn't a mouse in all of Terence Cuneo's pictures, although that does look like it might be it there. Difficult to see through the back of the camera. So if anybody knows exactly where the mouse is in that, please let me know. Terrific image. I wonder whether that's his flask of tea here. So let's have a quick look in here. So that passenger set was in here, so we'll just leaf through these quite rapidly, because I know we've seen these catalogues a number of times before. We don't want it to become over repetitive. So there's that set there, that locomotive we got on the line today. It's a pair of these bright red coaches, so I'll keep a lookout for another one of those, and that was the 505 local passenger set. So although it's in the catalogue in 73, it may have been around a little bit longer than the catalogue in the shop, so it could be 73, 74, and it's definitely one of the sort of beginner sets for very young children, I think. And look at these other sets here. We've got that little 040 and the slightly more familiar version of the Jinty there. And I believe these sets would have come with one of these battery operated type controllers there. I do have one of those, perhaps I should have dug it out. So let's just have a quick look through. That's an interesting set, isn't it? The Princess. We've got the crane truck. And those bolster wagons there. Very colourful set of wagons, isn't it? So let's just run through here fairly rapidly, and we'll see if we can pick up the wagons. Still on the lookout for one of those with the green ventilators, and there's that great modern footbridge. Let's just have a quick glance at that. I just dropped that on the railway quite recently there, so I'm quite pleased with that. I think it looks terrific with the canopies and the other sort of low down canopies and then the sort of over canopy. I think it looks great between the two. Very toy train set. So let's get ourselves to the wagons. Great locomotive there. Look at the shiny wheels on that. So we must get the Black 5 out again and have a look. It's been a while since we ran them. I know we had the maroon variant of it as well. There's another Jinty that was around at the time in LMS livery. We had that out quite recently, didn't we? And some of the colours are quite dark in this catalogue. They're a bit muted. We definitely had the Lord Westwood out quite a lot recently. And a terrific cutaway there. Let's see if we can get that without any glare on it there. It'd be nice to have a cutaway like that. So I bet there's a number of those around in collections. But they're worth a few pounds maybe. There's perhaps some of the more traditional style clear story coaches. We do have a set of those. I can't remember whether mine have white walled wheels on them, or white rimmed wheels on them. Maybe it's just memory playing tricks. Maybe they do. I know they're in an early Hornby Railway style box, but maybe we should have a look at those. I'll get those out. I do have a B17 which has been hiding in the engine shed over here for a while. It's taken a little bit of getting going, but that's for a video for another day. So maybe we'll get those coaches out for a run with that. But I've got it finally running reasonably well. It's taken a few types of fiddling to it. I've made a new drawbar for it and put a hard wire in to improve the continuity of the pickup. So here we go. Here we've got the wagons, and there we've got that green bolster wagon. So R.757, and I think in this form it was available from maybe 1970 to 74. I think the earlier version in the sort of same colour as like this, sold as a match truck with the earlier colour crane, was available in the early 60s. But I'll leave a link to the video with the earlier crane wagon, and you can have a glance at that. And there we go. We've got the other large crane which we had out earlier in last year, I think. Is it now? Earlier this year, I can't remember. I'm losing track. And there's the red one there. It definitely looks to have some printing or detail along the jib there, doesn't it? So I think I'll have a go at copying that off one of the older ones. And here we've got the track cleaning car. I have had another idea about that track cleaning car with the Hornby 00 style, perhaps coupling on it. I've got another model I've got in mind other than the Kobo. I know I mentioned the Kobo, but we'll save that for another day. These terrific wagons here. A much earlier video had a set of these. I think my gimbal's just suddenly starting to twist by itself, so I do apologise. A set of these I think I had running with an Electra, an EM2, but I did earlier last year get, I think, 2 or 3 of these, so I think we could have a long rake of those quite soon on the railway. So I've never got around to cleaning the wheels up on these yet, but I think they're going to look quite splendid on the railway. I'm thinking the Class 37 with these perhaps would make a nice train up for the railway. More station parts. There's the bridge again. Telegraph poles. Perhaps we should put some of those on, but when we take the catenary off, perhaps. So we've seen this before, so we'll just leaf quickly through there, and I think that's probably it for today. But thanks again for watching. It's hugely appreciated, and if you look back again next time, we'll have something else from the range to have a look at. Goodbye now.